Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's ESEA game between Impact Gaming and Rectify Gaming. My name is TJ, joined by the beautiful Dwarf Mike for tonight's match here, commentated by CSGM. And we are on to the ninth round here. Dwarf, you've had a great evening so far. You've been watching server changes, and now you're watching a ninth round. I need your prediction right now on the ninth round.
Well, it looks like we're just getting a nice little standoff at the doorway, and really welcoming knife stabs here. I'm going to give it to Rectify. That a little bit late, so I already had the key given away.
Such a clever prediction. You called that so far ahead of time.
Called it literally midway through. I mean,
that was, wow.
Knife round predictions.
A true prophet Counter-Strike.
That's me.
Darth Mike.
That's me.
Rectify do win the ninth round, so they will go ahead and choose that CT side here on Cobblestone. That's a bit interesting, because this is generally considered a T-sided map. So it's fun to see teams welcoming the CT side right off the bat.
Yeah, I feel like this is a CT side, or is a T-sided map if you have your executes down. You know, if you know what you're doing, if you have a plan for how to execute onto the map. And if you don't, I feel like the CT side can be a little easier, and especially since this is so early into the ESEA season. It's maybe an indication that Rectify doesn't quite have such a solid plan on how to play this map. Oof, brutal fights going on initially. RG Harden gonna fly right around the corner. Impact coming in for the quick kills. That's Zephyr with the kills. 2 quick headshots, but now JTG fighting back on the site. Gonna grab headshots after headshots. Nightmare answering as well. Bomb should be planted in just a moment, but they're being held off quite effectively from these 2 players by Rock. Bomb will go down. That's Gabe delaying the plant, actually. If they go down without a bomb plant, that's going to be something he'll regret. But the shot's ringing out, distance being closed. He's got almost no time to work with here. He'll get the first. Now he needs to find the second. Nightmare has no health, and Gabe will clutch it out.
I really liked how he played that. You could see the whole time he was just sitting there on the back of the bomb plant. Yes, he had bomb. Yes, time was ticking down. But he faked it once or twice. He just forced the pressure to shift over onto Rectify. And from that, they were able to grab the full HP member, and then all you have is an 8 HP hold. And Impact are able to take the first pistol round. Now, they do have a buy off the back of that. UMPs in an AK. There will be full armor with head armor over on Rectify, but the max they can buy up is CZs in a 5.7.
Yeah, Nightmare sticking to that 5.7 despite the meta shift, I guess. Looks like they're just going to fan out. Sometimes in the situation you see that stack come in, but they're going to avoid that siren call. Keep one player on the T side over towards B as the lurk. And it looks like they want to play a long, express themselves here, see if they can get a little presence. And there's not a lot to answer. Brady's going to be the first point of contact if he gets any audio cues. He's playing around in danger. Ooh, grabs the first, flashed out, still going to catch Gabe. That's a great kill. And the second. This CZ is doing work. Brady from danger is showing why he's a danger. Nightmare answering it as well. Now it's all just on Sub-Zera. He's alone. His team just evaporated around him. Guns can be retrieved in a moment. He's just got a UMP.
This is disastrous, and he'll try and find something, but this is about as bad as an anti-eco can go here for Impact. And as soon as the smoke fades here, Nightmare should have a free kill, even if... Oh, Severa, he might actually catch him off guard here because of the rotate, and he does, but he's closed in on so many sides. He'll go down instantly afterwards. And Rectify tie it up, and now, look at the money over on poor Impact. They went for a very confident buy there. And this leaves them with a few options, I guess. So they go for the force-up, which is obviously kind of the way that a lot of teams like to run it. But if you force up immediately after losing to a force-up, you enter this dangerous game where neither team is going to have a full buy for a very long time.
Yeah, that was a... I mean, it seemed like sort of a classic take, and then just Brady plays his danger room perfectly. So now the pistols elsewhere. The force by game, as you said, volleying back and forth. We'll see who is the first to string rounds together. It's going to be Rectify's attempt. They've got a pretty good buy to do it. I mean, 4 SMGs again. They've ping-ponged the SMGs. But Gryan.
Yes.
Ryan. That's right. RCG is the tag. Okay. Ryan. Takes me a bit to figure out names. Ryan going to be here with the AK, the heavy hitter of the team. And it looks like they're going to press out towards A again. Drop some players down drop, which they already have the control of. And wrap that onto the A bomb site. It's really just one player, and it's Brady again, set to receive them. He's already taken down the first. If he can get the second, this will be another tremendous performance out from Brady. They're crushing into the drop zone, but the T's are overwhelming. Brady, unfortunately, not able to be the hero of the round 2 times in a row. Now it all falls to JTG. He's got the UMP, he's got the armor, but needs to find the first player. That he'll do. Now it's a 1v1. Not a lot of health on JTG. Only 20 HP to work with, but it's an SMG against an SMG. The only disadvantage is Zephyr knows where he's coming from. Now, AK retrieved, a little bit of noise made. He's giving the distraction cues, trying to buy himself an entry onto the site, but popping out at just the right time. Zephyr will catch him and seal the round for Impact, taking another one back.
Impact. Now, like I said, they have the upper hand here, but because they entered this dangerous force buy game, the question is on Rectify. Do they force backup? Do they buy right back into it? And the answer is absolutely. Here we go, Scouts M4s. It's my favourite kind of early game CS because this will continue until one team puts together 2 or 3 rounds. And in fact, well, they're going for a quick A push this time, and it's not gone well, but they do get a Molotov kill. That'll help.
Now Nightmare, just a pistol, 5-7, let to hold this site. He's got players coming in around. That's Harden with the, assault rifle just goes down. They're being overwhelmed on this site. Ryan making some impact, but not a lot of room to work with. Impact instead makes themselves known on the site. 4 players up, just JTG to retrieve it. Looks like Impact is finally going to get a couple of rounds here together and end this force by madness.
Yeah, Rectify. I want to rectify their deficit. They're going to need to save. I hope at least they'll save. I don't think they have the money on anyone to really make a contest out of it. They may very well need to double save, in fact, actually, now that I'm looking at the money, and that could get very rough indeed. Impact have bought themselves a significant opening here, and if they capitalise, it could very well be big lead in the game. JTG is just hanging out behind this door, hoping for an exit, but Impact play it smart. And there you go, 1 player left alive at the end of it. He does have an M4 in armor, so though I would hate to see it, Rectify would force up behind him. Thankfully, I think they see sense.
I think so.
Stick to pistols. Hopefully, Mike, they'll group up, try something weird and interesting behind this M4. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see sometimes on this play where it's honestly more valuable to keep that M4 going into the next round. You see either teams put the rifle on one site and then stack everyone on the other, and it looks like they're actually going to go for the VP hill stack here. So 4 pistol players all lining up on the hill to just gun players down as they come around the corner. It's working out. That's 3 quick kills. Gola and Gabe answering back, but again, this push has just been decimated. Force buy after force buy is being won on this map. What is happening? The pistol lineup, they walk right into it.
And now Gabe and Samzera, they do have a hope. They can take this B site quickly, and remember, if they just wait long enough, the CTs are going to be forced to spread out among the 2 sites, giving them at least an even shot on the site. And made a lot of noise with the nades, though. JTG is here, Nightmare's rotating in, there's a 3-man CT defense. Gabe's only made the smallest of dents in it.
JTG playing around the tree position, trying to catch a player off, but he's going to get double peeked. Ryan, meanwhile, gets the kill, though. Now it's a 2v1. Gabe's only got about half HP. He's got 2 kills to his name already. He's going to need that 4K to take this round. Doesn't have the bombs. Hiding out in smoke, but this is clever positioning. He'll catch the first. Doesn't spot the second in time, and so Nightmare's going to take the round. Rectify, claim it off of the back of the hill force. Or not force, but the hill pistol play.
There's enough to force back. Over on impacts. That's exactly what they're going to do.
They're going for the
AKs. Decent utility as well with an AWP picked up over on Gola. They are immediately back in this. This is essentially a gun round for all intents and purposes, particularly with Sanders opting for the utility and a UMP. Very smart decision making by Impact, and if they stack over to a site, go for a set execute, this could become very, very fun indeed.
I think the only true save we've seen so far this game won the round.
Yes.
It's silliness. It looks like they're going to go for some early drop control here, and they're going to take it. Actually, Rectify's been really willing to give up this drop room, opting instead to play contain from outside of the room, which is a bit of a meta shift that you've seen in a couple teams. But still, sometimes a questionable decision, as it does give them a huge amount of map control. Gives them the ability to operate and execute onto both sites. But no real advantage yet. Gola misses an op shot onto the platform. Had an opportunity to grab the first kill in this game, but that opportunity will pass him by, as his team just seems to be getting bottled up right inside drop.
And Impact have committed a player to this drop, right? So if they want to rotate elsewhere, they're basically leaving him to die or hoping he can find something on the flank. So at this point, they really should commit B. Oh, they've waited long enough. Nightmare rotates off. There are fewer players here on Rectify than there really ought to be, given they've confirmed there's somebody in the drop room, and this gives Impact an opportunity, particularly because JPG is pushing in. He does find the pick, though. And now Impact again are on the back foot, but they're going B. They've committed.
They're going to slide right back on, trade a couple of kills, but JTG coming out big in this round. We'll get a few more before he goes down. Now it's on Harden, who's got firm control of the site, but he'll be dropped. Everything rests on the back of Savzera, who has the opportunity to retrieve the bomb, but now there's players who are going to be positioning to counter that. They're actually going for the flank through drop room. Maybe give them a boost around towards the platform. Ooh, there you go. Sneaky flank. Savzera may not be expecting this, though honestly, if the timing works out, he should start to. He's going to position himself so that his back's protected from drop, unless he creeps just a little bit too far around. That nade coming out is going to give away the position. That's great play from Savzera. He's already isolated one, and since the player was in drop, he can sort of assume that the player's rotate around the platform. Player's going to be on the bomb. Is he going to stick it? He will not. Trying to catch the player out. Flash comes out. Savzera is going to grab the kill and clutch out the round for Impact Gaming.
Savzera played that beautifully. Every single step of that was the best possible play, and he's walked away from the round with an AWP. Once again, the force buy, Mike, works out. It was a bit less of a force than usual, but it was still a force, and... Oh no, Rectify are scraping something together, aren't they? They're going armor pistol. Okay, we're staying in it. And of course, there's still incredibly weak money over on Impact. Even though there's a pause here, they've decided to go for the buy, obviously, off the back of that round win. And they're going to have pistols on, I think, multiple players there, depending on what Gabe scrapes together.
This is like two people wrestling in a mud pit. Neither is willing to let the other climb out of the filth, and so they just keep dragging each other down and down and down, and no one can build up an economy here.
Although, to be fair, Impact's actually... They're going to do much better than I initially thought. They're probably going to have full rifles because of that little shuffle with the AWP. So, they'll be able to make it interesting. Rectify, though, it's going to be sit-downs across the board, I think. I cannot imagine them pulling out anything more intense than that, so...
Well, they've got the M4
well, I would
on
write
Nightmare.
them off. I would write them off. But,
worked out.
remember what they did last time? They had never forward pistols.
It worked out. Let's see what happens this time. Savzera's out to an early lead. He's already got 10 kills on the server. Doing quite well. I mean, that clutch obviously helping out. But I'd like to see the AWP have a little more impact on this, especially since there's there's one rifle to contend with, and the hand cannon in the hands of Brady. We've already seen be pretty clutch so far. But I'd like to see the op sort of cut a swathe onto the B bomb site, and as of yet, it hasn't quite happened. Ryan actually getting aggressive towards Plat. It's going to opt to fall away, and they're going to re-establish drop room control, which again has just been completely given up. This time though, Savzera comes flying out of the drop room at high speeds, grabs the 2 quick kills, basically opens up the B bomb site. If they can find his third, that's exactly what he'll do. 3 kills to open up the round, secure a site. That should be a plant in just moments. They've already got drop room cut off as well. I don't know why they're being so timid and hesitant about this. They've got the site controlled. They now know where one player is. That's Brady with the Deagle, who's going to need to have a monstrous performance here if anything's going to happen in the round. At least a UMP retrieved. Might as well just fall away and save this. Site's confirmed, controlled. They've got 2 guns up. They've got armor. This is worth saving. Rectify need to just fall away at this point.
I think Sav is smurfing. I think that's what's happening. Yeah.
So far, it seems that way.
I'm going to be honest. I'm about to report him for Valve for smurfing. My uncle works there, actually, if you're curious. He works at Valve.
Mine works at Nintendo.
And he can get you banned.
Yeah. I believe it. Your uncle's a fearsome guy.
Yeah.
Enforcer of the Valve world.
It's actually a really interesting situation when you can just... When a player's feeling so hot that you can just send them out on a bomb site and they take it. And it happens... occasionally, pretty regularly, I think. You just have a guy on your team who has those hot streaks, and it's difficult to play around, but if you can, well, you see what just happened. The man takes a bomb site, and you walk out onto it.
Yeah, and you see the difference. I mean, they just play that completely differently from the last time they took drop control, right? Last time they took drop control, they put a player in and they waited super passively to see if he could get a kill, see if that would trigger which site they went to. They waited a long time after establishing that drop control to actually move on to the site. This time, they get into drop and just immediately Sabzera's out and finding kills. And that might be because they were expecting the pistols, but it certainly seemed to be the confidence play.
It wasn't a terrible round, though, for Rectify, all things considered. They do walk away from it with a decent economy and still 2 weapons, so they can make this interesting. Actually, they stack both weapons over towards the B site with all their pistol players over on A, which is a really good call. If Sat wasn't spraying 2 people down through the smoke here, he won't get the second. Nightmare walks through and catches him off. Now Rectify should have drop control, but never mind, there's a Mach 10.
Zephyr just from on high rains down a hail of bullets, and now it's just 2 USPs, no armor, no utility, complete vanilla USP pull, and they're about to walk right into a lot of guns. The close angle might give them a lucky headshot, but now they've been spotted, sprayed down through door. JTG just doesn't even have an opportunity to get anything done, and Harden will throw himself right into the blender to follow it up. End that round quickly. 4 players alive for Impact. They've now started to build that bank. This is a gun round, though. We've got rifles out on the Rectify side, so let's see if something more can be done in this round.
Finally, this is a full gun round. Both teams have plenty of money. Rectify actually are a bit light, but they've made it work. They have full utility. And now we have a proper gun round. Impact, do they manage to keep this lead for the first time against a full utility using CT defense?
I mean, they look to have, to my eyes, a little bit more of a plan for what they want to do in this cobblestone. At least on the B-bomb side, they've had pretty smooth executes coming out of drop and linking that up with platform. There's been a bit of confusion in terms of timing, but they've looked a little bit more together. Whereas you've seen, I mean, you talked about that one round where they had a player confirmed in drop and Rectify started rotating a player off of B. There seemed to be a bit of concern or confusion about which site they're going to go to. And so I do think that Impact, full gun round up, I mean, up as well. They have a bit more of a plan for what they're going to do here, and I can see that success translating to this full gun round.
Yeah, and hopefully we continue to see that, although Impact are taking it quite slow, trying to base out all this utility, and for the most part they have. There's only one smoker left over on the Rectify Gaming side, and that's Brady, who's over at the A site, I believe. So it's going to be completely dry here for Impact if they'd like to go out onto the B side. Hopefully they do, and here they go. Nice Molotov opens things up, forcing out JTG. This gets dangerous.
JTG unable to have any impact on the plant as he'll get sprayed down immediately. Now moving around, Ryan with a great headshot onto Gabe, but he's got to follow it up. Gola instead will find the kill. That site being open right up. Kills are falling all the way at Impact Gaming. Now it's just Nightmare. Isolated out of sight, creeping through the drop room. Really no hope of getting back into this round, and Zephyr will end any hope indeed. 7th round on the board for Impact Gaming. They've started to build that lead, and they are not stopping.
And I talked about how that was the first round where Rectify really had their full utility usage. That was the first round where they had everything they needed to slow down a take, make it take a while, and none of those nades were relevant. Because Impact just waited them out, made them nervous enough, they threw out all of the nades, and then it was an easy site take for Impact, who still had basically full utility and a clean site. There is a full pistol stack over at B, with a nade stack as well, that's quite nice, but there's only one person here, that's Sabzera trying to sniff things out, and he will get shut down by a pistol. However, Impact really ought to figure out what's going on off the back of this.
Yeah, they should have given the Q away to execute onto the A site, but maybe a little late in doing so. Maybe just unwilling to run into pistols elsewhere on the map. They're still going to clear every angle, move very slowly onto this site, but kills should be coming hot and heavy in just a moment here. Molotovs raining in, utility being used well to push players out of sites, and now the kills start. Sanders with the first to open it up. There's a player right on bomb plant, but he'll go down, and the flames will burn out another. Harden down as well, and the last kill falls. So quick sweep after losing the initial pick. Rectify unable to clench down on that one.
I think that's the first solid anti-eco we've seen that just went to plan. So, yeah, no. In fact, sniff out what side the stack's at by sending that one player, Sabzera, to solo over at B. And then they play it smartly, intelligently, and slowly over at A and sort things out. Now, though, Rectify again have a full buy, double AWP setup coming through on JTG and Nightmare. That'll be one at each bomb site, and also are starting things off with a ton of nade usage over here on the plat at B. And this is kind of worrying for me because they aren't really waiting to hear or see something before throwing those nades. They're just chucking them out into their set positions. And this is how Impact were able to start them dry last round.
Gola with a nice boost, trying to catch the op shot over smoke. He's still there. It's still potentially dangerous if Ryan tries to re-peek onto that platform. Looks like Ryan's thinking about it, but ultimately thinks better of it and will fall away. They're playing 4 heavy into this B bomb site, 3 actually in the site, and 1 in drop room, which is giving them a much stronger presence this time, especially if this drop room execution comes out. Last time it didn't really slow CSGM down, it didn't matter how many targets he needed to find, so we'll see if he can have that impact once more. Instead, the op will find him. That's Nightmare catching out CSGM. They've gone drop pretty much every round, and this time they get punished for it. So Impact now being pushed back from the site, but Zephyr opens up nicely. 1, 2, 3, they fall one after another. Can he get the 4th? There's still ace potential. JTD kill catching kills. Zephyr has 4. He needs 1 more to make this ace happen.
Oh, he's in the right
going to
position
push them
too.
out. He's got the lineup.
Oh.
Denied from Brady. Brady's going to shut that down. He may not win the round, but he's not giving up an ace. Ooh, Brady with a nice kill of his own. Now it's down to a 1v1. Just 1 more head to find, but he turns his back inexplicably, and Sanders can find the easy spray down.
He cleared the site. He thought, oh, there's nobody here. They clearly just sent out 4 players and committed all their utility to the B side for no reason. I'll head over A. And that didn't go well for him.
But it was interesting, again from Impact, we saw the same situation where they showed up and they waited. And Rectify used all their nades, and then they took the site using their nades, controlling. And they ran into a bit more trouble than they had previously, because Rectify had a setup built to counter their drop takes. But it wasn't a big enough difference, because they didn't have their defensive smokes, mollies, and nades available at the right time. So I'd love to see smarter nade usage from Rectify here.
Heavy nade usage to speak of it to take drop room control, and CSGM is going to open things up there. He loses a lot of his health, but is ultimately going to find the kill and take the map control. And this heavy drop room presence could serve to isolate the defenses. Brady getting aggressive is going to be cut down. That's Gabe playing Watch Warden outside of A. And the kills are just stacking up once again. 2 pistols still left on the server. And they've got some A site control, but that's about all they've got to their names. Looks like Ryan wants to press this, and he will catch a player off, so that's Zephyr found, but quickly traded out by CSGM, and the last player gets swept away in Nightmare.
Nightmare was like, oh, I'm going to flash into A main. It's going to be great. And then there were already people flashing out of A main, and it was incredibly awkward.
Fortunately, though, he will have a chance to redeem himself. There's a full buy again for Rectify. It's still a little bit shaky. We've seen this time and time again. They just don't quite have enough money to get all the utility they want and have head armor. But it should be enough to keep themselves in a decent position. Once again, the big thing for me is how are they using that utility? Because we've seen them just be a bit trigger happy with it, and then they just don't have enough when they're retaking, when they're trying to hold. Ideally, when a push comes through from Impact, they want to be able to shut down a specific wing of it and only have to deal with one. So if they're pushing down drop, you throw your nades, your mollies, you don't worry about drop for a moment, and you shut down the push onto plat. And then you're able to direct the resources over on the B side to specifically focus down one group of attackers. But every time they've already used all their utility, so Impact get that simultaneous pincer attack that they love so much.
Even in the rounds where it seems like Rectify have a bit of a chance, either the clutch play from Brady or, a good performance, an early pick, it just kind of falls apart right at the end. And at this point, we've had 7 rounds in a row for Impact. I mean, that utility usage, as you said, has been killer, but a lot of these rounds have been pretty landslide for Impact. There's been one that was really close. It came down to the 1v1, but a lot of 4s, a lot of 3s. Still alive. So it's just, since the guns came out and we had consistent gun rounds out of Impact, after that forced by madness to start the game, it's just sort of been a bit of a landslide. They've walked away with it.
Yeah, if Impact are able to continue just taking their clean site takes as they like, I have no doubt that the results will stay the same, at least until we get to the halftime. But as long as the T side of Impact is able to keep doing their own clean executes, I have no doubt that Rectify will continue losing all but a few fluke rounds.
The thing that doesn't make me terribly hopeful for the Rectify side either is the fact that they did defer. I mean, they chose the CT side off the bat, right? They had their decision, and you'd think that you'd go with your strong side. I mean, it's possible that they deferred their strong side till the second half, but
some teams do that, yeah.
It's pretty late. I mean, if you don't get 3 rounds on the board, right, then the pistol can do you in.
There's still a long way to go, though, and we do have an A side to execute here, so it is possible for Rectify to hit that magic 5 CT side number. As the side take comes through, Brady is still alive. He's going to be molded out of a proper defensive position, but it's entirely possible to hold.
Not so possible now, as he will find his head removed from his shoulders. But coming back onto the site, that's Nightmare with a good quick kill onto Gabe. The bomb hasn't planted yet, but it has crossed, so it should go down momentarily. And there's aggressive positioning up from Savzera, going to catch Ryan out. It's a great play from Savzera to really close down this site. Now Gola's got 1 player isolated and another soon to follow. All on JTG with the AWP. He's actually just going to have to fall away. Nothing else to do in this round. So it's 5 rounds are not going to be possible for Rectify. They need to hope for 4. Keep this op alive. See if they can get anything going in this half.
And it felt like a very, once again, disorganized CT defense there from Rectify. You saw, I believe it was Brady out in the middle of the site playing by APC. And the second the nades come in, he falls back. And he falls back to try and play behind Hut on the site. But the problem is, he's now seeded the initial peak, as JTG is hitting a few exit frags here. He's seeded the initial peak. He never got the chance to really fight people as they were trying to enter the site. So the second he actually peeks out, he's already Molotoved into a terrible position, being rushed down from 3 angles, and quite easily his head's removed from his body. So I want to see Impact, or Rectify rather, I want to see them take the engagements from the strong CT positions, using nades to their advantage, peeking strong corners, and not being so easily rattled by the initial Impact take, because that really does feel like it's happening.
Absolutely. I mean, it's almost, you know, the paper tiger, the threat of what's coming just scares them right back. And Harden in the smoke's going to be hopping around.
God.
There's a lot of players with their backs to him. Oh, if you just pull the trigger, Harden. Oh, he's going to catch 1 on the flank. I think he kissed 3 solid players in a row there. Meanwhile, his team's just falling apart, but Harden has a chance to hero play this. He's already retaken plat control, and now they can close in. Oh, Harden falls at just the wrong moment. It all falls to JTG with this AWP. Harden's already done great work in the round with the CZ, but JTG is just going to peek at the wrong moment, blind himself on the cross. Otherwise, he could have caught a player. Nearly shoots his dead teammate instead. Should be able to catch 1 player here as it comes around the statue, but instead will fall to Sanders. The AK wins out. JTG put in the dirt. A great play from Harden. Maybe a little late on the trigger pull there, but mass confusion in the smoke.
But, I mean, that's the difference between Rectify and Impact. During these rounds where Rectify has pistols, you can see them taking risks, making interesting plays, like running through the smoke. And it shouldn't work consistently, but it's the idea of, here's my idea to counter them. And I want to see that happen during the gun rounds as well. But we're just seeing a really disorganized side. Here's a full B take coming out now, and you can see JTG again in a very uncomfortable position.
Absolutely, and they don't use any of the utility to sort of cushion it. They just get pushed off immediately, as you've been saying, by that initial utility usage, those flashes, those smokes. Brady coming in from the flank is going to try and get something done, but there's really not a whole lot left for him. They've got strong post-plant positions, and Sanders from on flat is going to shut him down. Savzera gets the last kill for a 13-2 half. An absolutely brutal CT or T side from Impact Gaming.
I think Sanders is distributing some free education, you know? Sanders has got that free university distributed across the board to anyone over on Rectify.
Oh, yeah. Sanders bringing politics into Counter-Strike. He's going to distribute those kills to everybody.
I was talking about how he was schooling them. There was no political context there, Mike. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Nothing.
Well, we have swapped sides now. 2 rounds for Rectify. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's pretty rough. It is possible, in the sense that any Counter-Strike game is possible, but they're going to need to be absolutely insane on the T side.
Would you say they need to rectify the score?
Yes, they definitely do need to rectify several problems with their teamwork, their cohesion, and their nade usage. This round they went full armor pistol, no nades. They've decided the only answer is to not have any nades. And they're taking a slow B take. Already pressure and drop though, that'll be quite quick.
Yeah, fast play out of the drop room right into the
God.
USP of Zephyr
Oh
and
my
Savzera. They're just
God.
all falling apart. Zephyr hitting his shots, all falls on JTG, catches the first, can't catch the second, as Gabe will close it out. Just 14-2, pistol lost. I mean, we saw some forced by badness in the first half, but they're going to need a lot of it here in the second.
It really feels like Rectify are just lacking any impact when they try and take the sites. And I, again, put that up to a lack of kind of creativity. They're just kind of running out onto the side, and I think we're going to see a lot of the same problems from their CT side exemplified here again. I want to see some nade usage. I want to see them pulling out some interesting plays to make this more than just people running at their enemies, but Gola's getting exactly that, and he finds 2 off of it.
Sub-Zero falls as well, which gives them a little bit of an opportunity to site, but already moving back in. Impact Gaming's retaking this before they have any chance to lose it. Oof, good shot from Brady with the deagle. Seems that he's pretty comfortable with that gun, but now it's a 2v2, and the gun advantage and the health advantage is on the side of Impact. They've got bomb positioning as well. They know where one player is. They may not know where the second is, but now they know where his corpse certainly is, and they can double peek here. Now the strong headshot position. Good shot from Brady onto Sanders. But it all falls on Brady to keep this alive, and he will be unable to. Oof. Zephyr with a smart position on headshot. Rifle retrieved. 15-2. 13 map points to go.
If you having a close round depends on one of your players hitting 3 1-digs, maybe you need some better teamwork. Because that's, again, the problem. Sure, that was close, but it was only close because players on Rectify went insane. And that was not an insane smoke from Brady. That's going to get awkward. Because they're just not doing anything really creative. This is the stuff that Impact are doing now that I really wish we would have seen from Rectify, because you can see how it completely shut down the drop push here.
Yeah, that fast flank from Sub-Zero, I mean, it gets caught out. He ran past a player, actually, but still managed to get 1 kill before he gets taken down, and it's just completely cowed them. Any plan they had initially into it, they have no idea how far the flank's pushed up on A from another player at this point. They'd have no map information or control towards A, so they can't even go back that way. They're really committed to B, and they're committed to a heavy presence on B. Even the A player's cheating over already. So it's going to be a 4-on-3 stack with a quick rotate coming in, and no guns to their advantage, no real utility to work with. They still have 2 smokes that'll be thrown out, but enough flashes on the Impact side to slow them down. First of those is going to come out right now. Just not looking good in any sense of the word for Rectify. They need a bit of a miracle to get through this round and to get them into another room. But Ryan going to catch the first kill. That's something to start them off. He sees he's doing work, but Sanders answering back. They're trading them out effectively. Now 2 players caught out. Make that 1. Only Gola left alive with the AWP. Not exactly the gun you want in this retake round. And he's going to be hunted down. He'll actually fall away. So Rectify live to fight another day. They keep themselves alive by the hair of their chinny chin chin. 3 players up. They'll be able to go into the next. Make that 2 players up.
This. Okay. I didn't like them chasing there with only 3 alive. Because this means their economy is going to be somewhat crippled here, but whatever. No, the first round we see Rectify sit tight, go with a plan. They got stumped on their initial push by some great nade usage on the defensive side from Impact. So they sat tight, they played it slow, they secured plat control, and then executed a smoke take on the site. And what do you know? If you use your teamwork, then good things happen. It's so weird.
It's a miracle.
Now, Rectify are once again leaning over towards the B side, leaving only 2 people to kind of poke and prod over towards A. Problem is for them, Impact have done exactly the same thing on their buy-up round. They have 2 UMPs, CZs, Deagles, all hung out, strung out, predominantly on the B side of the map. And I think they're hearing enough. They're not going to move.
Yeah, they've been doing that pretty consistently, and they're actually going to cheat the A player over already. Brady doing a great job to enter onto the site, and the kills are all following the way of Rectify. It's just Sub-Zero still alive. We've seen him be completely deadly, but nothing will get going. This time, he'll be found quickly by a flying Orion, and the site will be controlled. So that's 5 players still up for Rectify. That's some money that can start to be built. They don't have any cushion to work with, should they lose a round, since they're already up against the map point. But at least they'll have everything they want going into the next.
I want to see more of that, because once again, a slow, steady side take by Rectify. They gained plat control, they leaned out and worked as a team to shut down the Impact players that were hidden on the side. And it's stuff like that that really gives them the advantage. Oh my god, this nade stack. It's going to find a kill.
They just throw everyone towards drop, and all the nades come out, and they get a free kill off of it. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see Impact try and boost a player up there to take that rifle.
I always love that play. If you're, I mean, instead of buying an upgraded pistol, you know, you just commit towards that nade. I mean, if it works out, you take a player off the server for free. That artillery strike, essentially, there's very little you can do for it from the Rectify side, other than just not be there.
Nuke.
Tactical nuke, indeed. Was that 25 back in Modern Warfare?
I don't know.
I just remember I had World at War where you could call the dogs.
That's always good. I always felt bad for the dogs, though, to be honest.
Call Peter.
He's still here lurking round over at the drop room, holding a very good angle, and you can see Impact are holding really smart CT positions just across the board. They are on pistols, so it's going to be very tough for them, but they've got really nice angles, and if they can just sit here and gain and maintain this angle control, it's going to be difficult for Rectify to clean them out. They're going to have to commit those mollies to the right spots, otherwise they're going to lose some players on this tank, which they are committing to.
Yeah, they have a bit of a cushion to lose players. Harden opening it up nicely onto Gabe. Ryan follows it up as well. They're really chasing out those snakes that could potentially bite them, but Zephyr, he gets tracked. Waits just a moment too long. Still manages to get one kill, but that's all the impact he'll have in this round. Now Gola locked out of the sight by smoke. P250 to his name. Really nothing to save here, but also nothing to gain. He's got long angles to deal with. AK, AWP. That shot will give his position away as well, so we might as well just fall back, save the money, I guess. Save the upgraded pistol, avoid giving extra money to the Rectify side.
They have enough money they're going to be able to sort of buy up, so I don't think P250 is going to make much of a difference. I don't know. I think he'll just sit here and hope somebody comes his way. Not really saving, but
maybe
really chasing a kill either.
When bomb goes off, run and get a gun.
Yeah. I just really, the whole round was defined by that hilarious double take from Ryan in the site. He turned around, saw a flare, and went, no, that's not a flare. And he spins around again, and sure enough, it's a flare. And I think we've all had moments like that where you don't quite recognize that's a flare model in the corner. And
it's almost like you know you're clearing the angle, you just don't spend enough time.
Yeah. This is a cool decision here by Impact. They have enough money to go for a weird pseudo-buy, but instead they opt to go for a half-buy. They'll have enough for a full buy next round, and they have a shot in this one. And I really like it, and they're playing a more standard 2-3 setup this round, which I don't like as much. If you have the weird shotgunny pistol buy, then stack it somewhere. Do something creative. Although they are now. Full A push here. I wonder why they think it's going to be A from Rectify.
Maybe there's just been so much presence towards B that at this point they're gambling on the change of pace. Not quite going to be rewarded here. They're looking for that long push in particular. You got a player rotating into Danger. We saw Danger have an impact in the first half. And Sanders playing dangerously around smoke. Might hear that audio cue. He will indeed. So he knows there's at least one player here. But that's going to be a bit of a miscue as the rest of the team of Rectify is headed towards the B bomb site. And they've only got 2 players to greet them, one of whom's already cheating off of the site. It's Gabe who's falling away. He'll move right back in, but he's already given up that close angle that's the advantage with the pistols. So if Rectify move in right now, they're going to have pretty much a free bomb site to roll onto. Hesitant, though.
Zephyr could be a problem here. Harden will find the opening frag. Zephyr's on top of the ball. What is this? He's got JTG with an AWP right next to him, and I think he knows it. He flies through the smoke and manages to shut him down. That's bomb down and an AWP. Thankfully for Impact, he won't be able to find much with it, but that is still much more dangerous than this round had to be.
It's like the Batman moment, right? Smoke blooms below you. He's from on high, just swoops down, grabs the kill. Unable to make his escape, though. He's going to get caught. AWP's been retrieved, and Gola actually gets the kill. This round's doable. There's an off. They both got armor. Oh, fortunately, it gets quickly shut down.
Impact's made that so much closer than it should be. Thankfully for Rectify, they have more than enough money to rebuy all those dead players, but that was ugly. Economy, there's an upside to being at match point. Economy means nothing to Rectify. If they lose a round, they lose anyway, so they do just go ahead and force a full buy again. Impact Gaming finally have one of their own, AWP, full utility, and fours across the board. Who in a 1-4 setup?
Force setup not working out, though, as Ryan's going to catch the first. Already a little bit weakened. The Gola player is going to be rotating already. That's the AWP who is locking down the A side alone. They're already going to be fast on his heels, but there's no commitment yet from the Rectify side. They could take this bomb to either side. They've showed a heavy preference for B, but with Harden securing their flank, they have every option to go back towards A. Doesn't seem like that's what they're going to do as the utility starts to fly into the drop room to establish presence here. And there's actually already platform control from Impact. They're going to move quickly, catch a player off, but unable to land the kill. Savzera, uncharacteristically, is going to get wiped off with no impact indeed. Now Gola and Gabe left to secure the site as 4 players come streaming in. Gabe's going to open things up, but that's all he'll get. Now 3 targets to find. Unable to do it. JTG locks down the round. 3K in the round for JTG, and the 7th on the board for Rectify.
Impact Rectify have never gone to the A side, not once. But they keep doing this take where they start off, they push out, it doesn't go great, so they stutter, and they fall back, and they play a moment, and they wait for Impact to get kind of antsy and not hold their dedicated positions, and then they fly out onto the site with this slow, methodical take that I really like, and it makes me wonder where this Rectify Gaming teamwork was when they were on the opposite side.
I don't think Savzera has a kill in the last, like, 4 or 5 rounds.
That's also significant.
Yeah, he was a monster in the first half. He's just gone completely quiet.
I mean, a lot of that has to do with positioning. He's been playing a lot towards A, so he ends up rotating into a pre-taken bomb site and just getting shut down. But not much else. I like how Rectify are playing this round. They know they're up against likely a buy-up pistol round, so they're taking it slow, methodical, cleaning out the angles, taking the kills where they can. I hope they don't lose track of time, though, because they're halfway into the round and they've gained no significant map control. Only now are they starting to work their way into drop.
And Sanders is a bit of a cheeky position, hiding around the smoke.
Oh my god.
He's actually got a teammate with him. If they drop into this room, they could find themselves with stiff opposition. Sanders going to catch nothing. Oof, nice shot onto the head, but Nightmare shuts it down. Now Gabe making moves with the Deagle from Chicken Coop. Actually, that's Gola from Chicken Coop with the Deagle. Going to try and get something going here, but he's being hunted down rapidly. That's one gun, but he goes for the rifle instead of the second shot, and so JTG will find him. 8th round for Rectify. They're stringing them together. They're making this happen. 6 rounds in a row to keep themselves alive in this game from 15-2 to 15-8. Do you believe?
Well, it's starting to get dangerous. It's starting to become a dangerous possibility here. You have so many players beginning to come online here for Rectify, and now with Impact with a full buy on the CT side, they have utility, they have Molotovs, they have the teamwork and cohesion to shut down the push. I want to see them use it now more than ever. It really does matter that they get a strong opening.
They seem to be having some trouble finding that middle ground between aggression and passivity, right? They're either really just giving up entry onto the B bomb site, or they're getting way too aggressive and hunting up plat and trying to push all the way through and giving up easy kills that they really have no business doing. I mean, if you establish that B plat control, especially if you have the AWP available, you can just sit there and really shut them down. And that's, since they've wanted to go there pretty much every round, you know that there's going to be some presence there at some point in the round. This time, the Rectify seem to be switching things up, and Brady's actually going to be the only player to fall on B, already drawing off the rotation from Gola, who's expecting the full hit to come towards B, but he'll get back just in time to grab the kill on a Nightmare. Now 3 players left to execute on.
That molly.
It's falling apart. Molotov sails out, but this is almost going away. Gola gets another good damage, but unable to find the kill. All rests on JTG to keep his team alive. It all comes down to this. AWP 1v3, shoots at the toesies under the APC, but unable to find the kill there. Needs to find a player. He's given his position away. He has bomb, but now he's been tagged through the wood pile. Things are mounting against JTG, and he will fall to another shot through the door and the wood. That's Savzera to close things out. 16-8 for Impact Gaming. I started to believe, and the belief was crushed.
Very, very nicely done, and all it took was just a very nice defensive side hold there from Impact. They saw the pressure come in, and they played it staggered. There was only one guy there, but he had a Molotov. That cut off the pressure, and that's what Rectify was missing. That slow, methodical usage of nades and really just smart play. that cost them so many CT side rounds, well, it comes back again to cost them the final T side round. Impact Gaming to take the game.
All right, everybody, we'd like to wish you a good night. Once again, I'm Darth Mike. You can find me on Twitter at Darth Mike, and here casting with me is TJ, whose Twitter handle is...
Oh, my beautiful Twitter handle is esportstj, all one word. Because it's like esports, which is what we're doing, and
I like
it's
it.
TJ.
I like it. And we're here on behalf of CSGM for all your casting needs. If you need your games casted, if you want some quality representation, hit us up on Twitter at Twitter/CSGM. And once again, as always, you frag.
We cast.